Don't worry, baby, don't worry, baby, it's alright. Don't worry, baby, don't worry, baby. Old songs, man. That's back in the 60s. Then he said, don't worry, baby. Oh, bip, 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 bop. Sha na na na. Bowser. Bam, boom, bow, bow, boom, bow, 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 bow. Okay, what color is the sky? It's blue, right? White clouds, but basically blue. Okay, so scientists say that the ocean reflects blue water because when the light hits it, uh, the yellow and the red is mostly taken out of it, and the dominant color is blue. So then I start thinking. I said, well, space as we know it, space, the final frontier. Space is not the final frontier. The ocean is. Because 90% of it hasn't been discovered. 95 actually hasn't been discovered. We're living on a planet that we don't know. We don't know 95% of this planet. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, when I look at the sky, look up in the sky, and I see all that blue, then I think about what the Bible says about the firmament, how the firmament divides the waters from above and the waters on earth. And then I was looking at some YouTuber. He walked up to a NASA space guy and said, why is it that the astronauts were drowning when they were in space? And the NASA space guy said it was saliva, but that's not true. They weren't drowning on the, all of a sudden everybody's drowning on their saliva. There's water above our head, people. And that blue that you see is the same reflection of blue that you see in water. That's water. We're living in a fishbowl. That is all water. Now, here's the kick. Here's the real kick in the drawers. For one, NASA's been lying to us, and they're going to continue to lie to us. Why? Because we send billions of dollars to the NASA program that is no longer working. But we still send billions of dollars to these guys, and they're just pocketing it. Two, span of control. They want to control the populace. So they give you fake narratives, and you believe it because, well, I just want to go to work and come home. I just want to get a burger, hang out with Supreme Allah, talk about some b-ball. You want a simple life. So what if there's a whole universe full of water over your head? As long as God doesn't open that window and flood it again, you're like, who gives 10 cents? You know what I mean? How the Lakers doing? What's Kyrie Irving doing? Somebody burn his jersey? Ah, that sucks. That's what you care about. Keep looking at the idiot box. Not concentrating on what you should be concentrating on, which is, who are you really? Better question is, what are you? Basic answer, I am human. Theoretical answer or theological answer, I am a child of God, and He is my Father. Both are correct, but What does it all mean? What does it all mean for me? What am I really, Father? You know what I'm saying? Father, it is your son. Hear me, O Lord. Wasn't it I who cried out for cookies and ice cream in the middle of the evening? It was I, Lord. Giveth me chocolate-covered cookies. The thing about praying is, when you pray, you have to believe in who you're praying to and what you're praying. You can't just ask for cookies and ice cream. Although you can, but... And then when you do, God says, just ask for it once. It's like, Lord, I need cookies. Lord, I need cookies. Lord, cookies, cookies, cookies. That irritates God. It's like, I already know what you're going to ask, so why do you keep saying the same thing? But the thing about it is, when you open up your mouth and you ask God for something, you also open up, you use a frequency and you open up a portal from here to where God is. You know what I'm saying? As a spiritual being, you have the ability to travel from one dimension to another. That's who you are. Now, some people can do this physically. Everybody can do it spiritually. If you don't believe that, tonight when you go to sleep, it's a good chance you're going to dream. And while you're dreaming, your eyes are going to move and all that other stuff. Your body's going to be in one place, but your spirit's going to be in another place. Sometimes people's spirits get trapped in that other place and they don't wake up. And or, you know, they wake up a long time later, years later, just sleeping. Because their spirit is still not in contact with their body. You don't believe any of that? Look at what Jesus did to the little girl and the Lazarus. He said they're not dead, they're just asleep. And he called to them, Lazarus, Lazarus, come forth. We thought Lazarus was dead for 3 days. If one of us died for 3 days, our body would start decomposing immediately. Rigor mortis would set in. Those flies and worms would start eating at your body. But it didn't happen to Lazarus or the little girl. Now did it? Lazarus, come forth. Yes, Father. It is I, Lazarus. I was sneezing. Anyways, he got up and he started doing whatever. Your spirit can travel anywhere, and it often does. And where it travels to is different worlds. Now here's the thing. You're not the only being that can do this. Angels, demons, they do it all the time. That's why it's important to pray before you go to sleep. Because when you pray, you're praying that the angels protect you. You also pray that the angels guide you in your sleep. So you don't end up in some place that you're not supposed to be. And it happens. They're called nightmares. Some people have these horrible dreams and horrible nightmares and they wake up and there's marks on their body. How'd that get there? And it's not marks from you doing it. Tell you how I got there. Because you traveled to a world and you communicated with a being and that being came back into this world. Which is the same thing Jesus did when he left. He went from one place to another. The same thing that the devil does. Says Satan goes from to and fro, roams from to and fro. You do the same thing. That's what you are. You do the same thing. You travel to and fro. Except a lot of us do it unwittingly. And we do it and we go different places. There are billions of worlds out there. Billions. Billions. We never been to the moon. We can't get past the water. We can't get past the radiation. We can't get past the Van Allen belts. We've never stepped on the moon. Not 1 foot. All that Hubble radar nonsense, that's a lie. Hubble isn't seeing a doggone thing. The twinkling of the stars that you see above your head, there's the twinkle in the stars. Look at the shooting star. No, it's not what those are. However, there are low flying objects, low orbit flying objects. That is true. Because every now and then one of them will come crashing down to Earth in the size of a Volkswagen. Aliens do not travel at light speed. They simply open up one door and walk through it. It's a frequency that they use. Whether you're using their voice or a computer. The book of Ezekiel talks about aliens. Talks about spaceships. How Ezekiel saw these 4 beings and it was a floating around the spaceship. Eyes of fire all around it. It was metal. It was a spaceship. And that was in 500 AD. Aliens are right here on Earth. Listen, the ocean is so vast that we couldn't span the whole ocean and find out what's there in a lifetime. The largest volcanic region, the largest mountains, is not Mount Everest. Largest mountains are underwater, dwarfing Mount Everest. Miles high. Miles. There's a whole nother ecosystem there. There's a whole nother world. There's probably a whole nother... I mean, there are species we're finding all the time, or refinding, the coelacanth. We're finding bigger and bigger species all the time. The Architeuthis is known to be 70 feet long. No, 45 feet long. 45 feet long, then they find one 70 feet long. And find out that it was still growing. How would you like to see that? An Architeuthis still growing. If you don't know what it is, it's a giant squid. 70 feet. In other words, a kraken. Well, some would call it a sea monster. I called it a giant squid. I don't think it was a kraken either. But the myths about such creatures, I don't think it's one creature either. I think it's a few of them. Hell, it could be 2 to 10,000 of them. We wouldn't know. Megalodon. Oh, they're extinct. They lived back in the Paleolithic age. Nope. They just got tired of our nonsense and started swimming deeper. It's not like they have to surface like whales do. And it's not like there aren't pockets of air in the water. No. Whales probably swim to a whole different place. You know what I'm saying? That has its own source of light and plenty of air instead of messing around with us, blowing everything up and poisoning the ocean. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the other ocean. Or the other Earth. The Earth within the Earth. Yeah, I get tired of our nonsense. Got bit by a mosquito. I'm tired of you. I'm going somewhere else. You guys blow everything up. The T-Rex lived back in the Jurassic Age. T-Rex is still alive. This giant meteorite came down, destroyed everything. Didn't destroy everything. Didn't destroy all the animals. Megalodon is a giant shark, by the way. A 50-foot long shark. Some people say it's a mako. Some people say it's a great white. Most people say it's a great white because of how large it is, but it's not a great white shark. A megalodon is a megalodon. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. The Eohippus died out a long time ago. Eohippus, a very, very, very small prehistoric horse. Very small. Just imagine if some of those creatures were alive right now. You know, we always do that. We always Jurassic and Park and stuff and theorizing. If those animals were alive today, they would eat everything. Totally mayhem. Well, guess what? Those creatures were alive in the Bible days. A lot of those creatures, a lot of those so-called prehistoric, died off millions of years ago, and then come to find out that they're still there. Those creatures are still here. The Loch Ness Monster is a prehistoric creature. It's called a plesiosaur. There's two different versions of them. One was with a 3-foot head, another one with a 6-foot head. A lot of them lived off the coast of Australia. Look. Who's to say that there isn't a connection between the waters above and the waters below? We think it rains and it precipitates. Did I get bit again? We think precipitation is the only way that water travels from there to here. Through storm clouds, so on and so forth. I completely disagree. I completely disagree with that being the only way that happens. Or we say the Gulf Stream, you know, it's by the Gulf Stream and the jet stream. The heating and cooling, the water is falling, or salinization, or salinized water and fresh water mixing, warm water and cold water, then going up into the jet stream, and then I believe all that is there, but I don't believe it's the only thing connecting that water from this water. See, we don't fly over all of the earth. We don't. We don't know what's in Antarctica. We know what they tell us is in Antarctica. But we don't know. It's just like your parents. It's just like when you were a kid and you said, "Mommy, where do babies come from?" And then they give you this watered down version of the truth. And some of it's just a flat out lie. The stork. This is a flat out lie. Look, it's not like you're not expected to get older. Like they know you're going to get older and find out the truth. But you're a kid, and they think it's cute to a lot of kids. A stork. This giant nomadic bird comes down, drops off a baby. That's how you got here. Not really mine. You were assigned to me. Every kid on earth is adopted. There's a huge baby factory somewhere out there Santa Claus built. And what we did was we sent them a letter on, some very important cotton paper with very nice writing New Times Roman. And they sent us you. Yeah. You and all your imperfections. It just so happened that your DNA is somewhat. I mean, your eyes look like mine, but yeah, who cares about that? Your nose, cheekbones, even your penis, top of your ear. Yeah. Y'all look like mine. Oculaires. I mean, shoulders are built like mine, but ah, you got that same protruding forehead as your mother. But we just picked you up out of the, out of the billions of kids that are out there, and it was like, yeah, this bird said this is yours. Take care of it, nurture it, change its diapers, yeah, behave. Feed it. It'll grow up, cause you more trouble than what you're worth. There you go. Flat out lie. What makes you think your government parents aren't lying to you? And listen, I'm not anti-government. I do believe there should be some type of I don't know, organization or organized civilization. Somebody to blame it on. I don't know. But I know that right there, we don't know all that we should know. And when God opens up the window, Donald Gilbert, all of that blue just happens upon our ass. God flooded the whole earth. Every single civilization has mentioned a flood. Everybody on every continent before there were, trains, planes, and automobiles, good movie, has reported the same thing at some time in history. Then you got the whole Adam. Adam's story is only 7,000 years old, but you got civilizations that were here millions of years ago. You're like, how'd that happen? How did the city of Nod get built? By 3 people? People, that's water. That right there is water. There's a huge glass ceiling stopping that water from coming down upon your head and drowning everyone. I'm going to tell you something else, I think. I think there's a way that people can live without the things that we have and take for granted, like air. Now let me say this. I don't mean the air is not necessary. I just think there's a way for us, our bodies, I think our bodies are so magnificent that I don't think all that water on Earth is an accident. I think all of that water is there, and I don't think it's supposed to limit us. We're afraid of the water. It's like we're on a foreign land. It's like we're all on an island. That's basically what we are. 77% of the world is water. We're all on this island just, pretty much afraid of what we're surrounded by. And I just don't think we should be. I think that we were meant to live on earth and in the water. I don't think that God would put all that water on earth just for us to be like, you know what? I can't really deal. I'm just going to chill. Michael Phelps versus the shark. Michael swimming next to a phony shark. Loses. All I saw when I saw that was, for one, this would not be a big deal if we really knew what we were. We'd be swimming next to sharks all day. It'd be nothing. Land would be foreign to us. When we're born inside an embryonic fluid, right? Here's to the embryonic fluid. Thank you. What are we breathing? Now, some of you scientifical nerd ballers are going to be like, well, what you're breathing is embryonic fluid. No, you're not breathing at all. What you're doing is you're breathing through the umbilical cord. And it's like, okay, right, okay, the umbilical cord, right, we're getting our okay, so wait a minute. So we're getting our air through the umbilical cord? And we're getting nutrients, we're getting food through the air, but are we getting air through, is air going through our lungs? The answer is no. Air's not going through your lungs, because when they come out, you come out and they spank you on the butt, you cry, and they want you to cry so it can clear your lungs of amniotic fluid. Then all of a sudden, you're breathing air, and you can no longer breathe liquid. Doesn't that just make you go, Doesn't that ever just make you just think, am I missing something here? Or did somebody just take something away from me that I needed? Okay. Let us delve into the unknown. Let us go into the unknown. Let us delve. I'm just chatting it up. Donald. But let us delve. Let us think. Let us ponder. I'm pondering here. Let us think. What if you had a baby that was attached to some sort of umbilical cord, right? And the child was inside a swimming pool, incubator, water. It's not like the Avatar. And then the baby grew so much, and the umbilical cord was cut. Then you'd say the baby would die. That's what you'd say, because the baby's no longer getting fed. Food and nutrients are no longer going into the baby. But I say nay. I say it's a learned behavior. Get where I'm going with this. If the mouth isn't eating, and nutrients aren't going through the mouth when you're a child, but yet the child lives, nutrients are going through the belly button, correct? Can you grow a whole person by feeding them through the belly button? Can a whole man grow simply by the nutrients through the belly button, but still breathe water? See, the child is not breathing air. The child breathes water. Amniotic fluid is water. It's fluid. Now, I could be just crazy, but what if we're doing it all wrong? What if when we're born, what if we're not supposed to be born that way? And then the question is, how would we be born? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a old guy sitting on his porch theorizing, thinking that something's definitely wrong with the world today. But I don't think that we are supposed to be on this planet and not able to capitalize on everything on it. I strongly believe that we should be able to survive underwater without any suit or anything. It's natural for us. Anyways, I'm done babbling. God loves you. Bye.